the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I'm Amanda.
And we are all back from DLG Con, Austin, Texas. And don't listen to that last episode. It's a lot. It's a lot going on that one. I started listening to it. I got about halfway through, and I was like, this is rough. And I was there, and I had a great time. Well, during there, it was pretty good. I ended up finishing. It wasn't that bad. But, I think maybe the first year was maybe the first chaotic. We're getting better. We've only done 5 live episodes. And, I think we're getting better. What'd you guys think?
I think it's a better watch than listen, so check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely watch
yeah,
one. You can put some faces to some fans and some active people in the community. Definitely watch it.
It was the best live episode I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it was and at least for me, I think it was like the best DLG con as well. It's a tough tie though with the first year, but it's up there, man. Like that was, I thought that was a wonderful time, and that was a good episode too.
Speaking of the first DLG, thoughts are going into maybe doing it again in San Diego next year, but we have a whole year we got about 6 months to plan that, so
we'll put it to a vote, but I do think that it would be some beautiful meta shit to go back to where it all started for the 5-year and then 10-year, like the 5-year reunion of DLG Con and the 10-year of the podcast. That would just be, I think, very, poetic to go back to.
Yeah.
to
Meanwhile, I think we should just do it at Diddy's house. But
we're all going to the middle of nowhere.
we're all going to Iowa.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, flight's gonna be cheap though.
Bobby,
hey, I just want some corn. It has the juice.
Sit up straight, Bobby. Zaya's here. Zaya's watching.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, we were just playing some Street Fighter, actually. I was like, hey, have you played? And he's like, yeah, I went to training mode and I watched a YouTube video on how to play Ryu. I was like, you're going to do great.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I think I played Mortal Kombat against him. I don't know which one it was. It must have been like 8 or 9 at the time. Yeah, I did not do well. But I'm a Street Fighter guy, dude. Mortal Kombat's tough for me. It's very, I don't know.
Different.
I find it very clunky.
It's a completely different thing.
That it's stiff.
Although it got a lot better. 10 is when it turned around. At 10 and on has been very good. But welcome, dude. Posture check. Yeah. Welcome to the show, bro.
All right.
Who's this?
Zaya's
Who's this person you introduced?
Zaya was Albert's friend. We talked about them. They were integral in the beginning of this whole podcast. And now he's back, baby.
And I'm not a Street Fighter guy, by the way. I played Street Fighter 2 in the 90s. I played a lot of it. That was my favorite game of all time. Didn't really continue on.
Dude, Street Fighter 6 is going to be a good spot to jump back in.
Did you see the character creator?
Yeah, I saw what people are doing on the character creator.
It's pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So, like, you can really do any, like, body part as big or as small as you want. So people have, like, these huge thighs that are, like, 4 feet wide, but their torso's, like, a foot in radius.
Yeah, so, like, really skinny ankles, super thick thighs, really skinny hips, really thick. Look it up, Christian. Street Fighter 6 crazy characters or something. Yeah. So what they're going for in that game is they're doing this, like, I forget what it's called, but they're trying to recapture the feeling of an arcade. So you'll have your character, your avatar, and you can walk around to different virtual Street Fighter machines. And at that machine, look at those fucking weird ass shit.
Oh
Bro,
God.
the first one looks like Emilio. Hold on, the one that's in the top left, that is Emilio. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's me right there. Arm wrestling champion. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah, they're trying to recreate it in the feeling in an arcade. So in an arcade, you would go up and you would put your quarter up, and that means that you're next in line. And then as the quarters move over, that means your place in line is getting closer. And then once it gets to the center, then it's your turn, and you get to challenge whoever the reigning winner is. And so in this virtual world, you walk around as this crazy person you make. You also get to fight as them, and you make their whole fight, all their abilities, everything. You can make whatever you want, basically. And then you can basically go to a Street Fighter cabinet, watch the 2 players play, and also be in line in queue to challenge the guy who's winning for that cabinet. Or you could just go fight somebody one-on-one. But yeah, they're trying to recreate that whole like watch who's winning, then it's your turn to challenge him, and then hopefully you take over the cabinet, and then you can keep going. I think it's a cool move. I've seen it they try to do this in like a Dragon Ball that I try to play. There's the one that came out before Dragon Ball Fighter Z that wasn't very good. But for some reason, I really hope this is going to work out. But anyway, all the streamers, everybody that's put their hands on Street Fighter 6, I think it's either out in Japan or there's like a demo in Japan. A lot of information. Everybody loves it. Everybody's like, this is what we wanted, blah, blah, blah. Street Fighter 5 was made during a real bad time in Capcom history. Like they were about to go bankrupt. So they barely had any money. They just kind of cobbled a game together. And now they're doing very well. Maybe some of the best they've ever done in their history, money-wise. And so they're throwing a lot of money at Street Fighter 6. And it shows.
Capcom makes Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, look at how much money have they made with the remakes and all this stuff, dude. They're killing it.
And they're coming out with a new version of the last Resident Evil that just came out, which is the gold version, which includes like a 3-hour DLC or a 4-hour DLC. And it's just like Capcom is firing on all cylinders right now, which is nice to see. Yeah. They've been around for so fucking long, dude.
Yeah. And good for them, you know. When you have some really bad years and then you can make it come back, that's like everybody loves a comeback story, you know. Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's talk about some games that have come to our attention this week. I imagine there's going to be a lot of them with Steam Next Fest going on.
Yeah.
Or maybe people have just played a lot of games. I did not. The one game that I wanted to talk about that I noticed this week was Streets of Rogue 2. So Streets of Rogue, the original game, was kind of a big hit for some of us in the podcast. Emilio, you played a lot of it.
We played a lot of it by far. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, how would you even describe that game? It was a roguelike co-op where you got to choose a character, like a class of a character, and that determined what abilities you had. So we would find these synergies, like I don't know, what were the characters? It was like a cop and a mechanic, or...
Yeah, exactly. Or like a thief and a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I think the doctor I played a lot because you could heal with that.
Yeah, you could heal with the doctor, and you could also chloroform people.
Yeah,
and then there's like a ninja, and you could do all kinds of shit. Like the characters are very, very. They vary so much. The character completely changed the way you play the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're in this world.
This city.
It's a city. It's a top-down game, but you can interact with everything. You can knock a hole through a wall. You can blow up a building. You can sneak past everyone. Like, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want in this game. There are objectives that you have to complete.
Yeah.
So we had a good time with that game, but this sequel is going in a bit of a new direction. It's kind of like Stardew Valley in a way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's going open world. You're still going to fight and sneak around and do all the stuff that you usually do. But instead of going from level to level, you're just going to be in this persistent world.
Okay, but as long as you're not farming.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like base building or anything like that.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I like that idea.
No, I'm cool with the open world for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more GTA.
Well, when I had played Streets of Rogue, it was missing a lot of levels. I think there were only 3,
God,
and we got
so
to the end,
early.
and it instantly killed you. And for a moment, I thought, like, how did I die? You know, what happened? And then a message comes up and says, "Hey, the next levels haven't been completed yet." But
yeah, that game, not only is it done, but like the guy's still working. I saw an update like 3 weeks ago. So there's so many new characters. You could play as a comedian. He'll start telling jokes. He's like, meow, 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 and like a group of people will come over, and then you have like a 10% chance of somebody liking your joke, and then they'll just become your slave after that. And the rest of them hate you though. So if the rest of them will attack you on site. It's crazy. It's a crazy game. You can play as a gorilla, which is super strong, but he can't speak. So you can't interact. You can't buy things. You can't sell things. You can use the ATM, but that's pretty much it. So there's pros and cons. Anyway, this is a lot prettier version. I'll give him that.
Yeah, the graphics stepped up a little bit. The original Streets of Rogue came out so long ago that I had kind of forgotten about it. And I think it was in early access for a while.
Not me, dude. I have it installed right now.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah, I haven't touched it in forever. But
It's a
let's see.
hard sell, though, dude. Like,
It is.
yeah, it's like
Oh, it was released in 2019, but I played it way before that. I must have played it in early access.
Overwhelmingly positive, 12,000 reviews. But once you start playing it, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's going on? But what's going on is hundreds of interconnected things. Like, these people hate me because I'm a vampire, but these people, whatever, all kinds of shit's going on. And you only figure it out by playing it. It's one of those weird games like that, but I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me want to play now.
Do we have a release date for the second one? 2023 is what it says. So not too far away.
Yeah.
We're almost at 2023. This year's almost over.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2023 release dates, did you guys see the Dead Space remake trailer?
I did. I meant to put it on here, but you got it. Good.
Dude, it is pretty fucking cool looking, to be honest.
Did you watch it, Bobby?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
I don't get excited over trailers, though. It looked way too cinematic for me to put any faith in this game. I do know that Dead Space, they did that really well. They had that whole very clean UI. That
UI built onto your character.
Yeah,
right?
where you didn't need a lot of the heads-up display stuff that you usually get with a video game, and it looked great. But still, like when I see a trailer like this, I'm like, what are you hiding from me? What's the real deal? What's
You're
the actual
so
deal?
cynical, man.
Well,
At least
I
we
mean,
can
I've
say,
been playing video games long enough. You're going to be
well, it doesn't look like shit, right?
No, it looks good, dude. But how many trailers have looked like this, and then you go to play the game, and it's like, what the hell is this? It's nothing like the trailer. Like, come on, dude. I mean, have we all
It's pretty
got
hard to get
amnesia or
Dead Space
something?
wrong, though.
Is this an
No,
early
but just
90s
as many
soap opera?
games have a good have a bad trailer and end up being pretty good, or have a good trailer and end up being good. It's not the majority of games that have good trailers and are bad.
I would say it is. When it comes to AAA games, like we have been consistently oversold these games with trailers. It's like a meme with E3. Like, I don't know. These are old memes, but
No.
they have these. Have you seen those before, where they show like E3 trailer, actual game? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so funny though. Like the one for Watch Dogs was so bad. Like the trailer, they had like I think it was like 70 or 80 AI units like on the screen, like in the club, but like the actual gameplay, there's like 10. Like it is so bad.
yeah, and maybe this is coming from somewhere because I played Overwatch 2 this week. Spoiler alert, but they did not deliver on what they had promised. So.
Spoilers, dude. Highlight spoilers.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Stay
we'll get to
cynical,
that
Bobby.
later.
Trust no one, says Clown Notion.
I think here's my hot take. As someone who played a fuck ton of Dead Space and even more of a fuck ton of Dead Space 2, Leslie's never played Dead Space. I just want to play it with her, and the fact that it's Dead Space 1 with a fresh coat of paint. That's all I really care
And it's
about. and
co-op
I really want.
the original Dead Space 1 was not co-op.
I don't think it's co-op. No, what I'm saying is like she
okay.
watches, and then if I die, we'll switch. It's like
Do the
it's
old-fashioned
cool.
co-op.
Yeah,
It's
it's what we
did you
do
guys,
with God of War.
Did you two end up playing together? Dead Space 2? Because you guys talked about it.
Me and Bobby.
Yeah.
No, we played Dead Space 3.
Dead Space
Oh,
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All the way through?
yeah.
or-
We
Nah,
we ended up playing what 5 hours, 4.5 hours, or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, we
enough
actually
for me
played
to
quite a
kind of get
bit.
the picture. If I remember correctly, the weapons were really interesting in that one. You could really design your own weapon and do all sorts of creative stuff with that, but I was a little unimpressed with the gameplay in general. I mean, the
think they
first
try
Dead
to do
Space,
too much.
I don't think it got better than the first Dead Space. I think they started with a fantastic game. The second one was like, okay. And then the third one, I don't know.
I actually think the second one's the best one out of like gameplay and everything. The only reason I say that is that so like Dead Space 1, there's a lot of like corridor shooting, but like in Dead Space 2, there's these big wide open areas. Like you're like in the food court of like this, the spaceship and all this stuff, and it's really wide and it's like crazy because you have enemies coming from every direction.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah, the
Dead
first one
Space
does get
1
pretty old pretty quick as far as the setting goes. You're just going through like an abandoned ship for I think the game's about 8 hours long. And the second one, yeah, you start out in like the creepy nursery, and you're in like a living quarters, like this giant ship where people have inhabited, and the monsters have just kind of shredded the place. So you're seeing the aftermath of that. So there was definitely some cool stuff about that.
I think Dead Space 2 has one of the craziest opening videos. Like once you like start the game and they play the opening cinematic. And
Yeah,
me
I
and
didn't
Leslie,
like that though.
and me
I
and
thought they
Leslie watch
started
it. She's
to,
like, "What the fuck is going on?"
but you start with that, and it's like, where do you even go from that? How do you build tension from that? That was kind of the problem I had with the second Dead Space. It just the first one was so atmospheric, and I know that word gets overused a lot, but it really was. And then the second one was just like immediately first minute balls to the wall gore.
It sounds like you guys are talking
Yeah.
about Alien and Aliens. Like you could apply
It's-
everything you
Right.
guys just said to those two movies.
Yeah,
You know
Although,
what? I agree. With for those who don't know, Dead Space 2 opens up with the main character you played in Dead Space 1. You're just like on an examination table, but like vertically, and you're like in a straitjacket, and you're like, oh, they're putting him in psycho ward because he saw all the shit that he saw. And like the doctor's like, yeah, we're here for your routine checkup. And then this fucking just brain monster just sticks a fucking spike in his head and turns him into essentially a space demon. And then you're just like running around with a straitjacket on, just avoiding all this shit while everything's just going to chaos.
Damn.
And like it literally goes from like 0 to 100 in about 3 seconds.
Hey Nick, did you watch
Um,
the anime?
The anime, I watched a little bit of it. a
Bobby
long
said it
time
was pretty
ago.
good, right, Bobby?
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
got
anime-
back when I was doing my video game movie reviews. I did a video on this. I think there were a few movies, but there was specifically one that I did the review on that came out right before Dead Space 2 as a way to promote the game. And they actually put a lot of
Yes.
money into it. It was pretty interesting.
Mhm.
It changed the animation
there was-
styles. It was like 4 stories in 4 stories from 4 different people, and it kind of bridges the gap between Dead Space 1 and 2.
What's it called, Christian? So people can look for
Dead
it.
Space Aftermath.
Oh, Aftermath. If
Yeah.
anybody's
But there's
looking for
one
it.
other one that I have not seen. And a big change from 1 to 2, and I don't really fall on either side of this, but Dead Space 1 had that whole silent protagonist thing that was very popular for a long time in
Isaac
video games.
never talked.
Yeah, but then they changed that in the second one.
Yeah, everyone was just talking at him, and they've already shown in the remake trailer that he does talk. So I don't know what to like feel about that. But then again, he should fucking talk. He's being attacked by like the most horrific things you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, it does seem kind of ridiculous that we had this whole thing where the lead character in a game wouldn't talk. And they kind of lampshaded it in Half-Life and made jokes about it. But
Half-Life 2, they really pointed it out.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. And this has been the Radar, where we talk about 7-year-old games, 100-year-old games.
Yep.
What else we got?
They
Well-
get remade. That's the trend these days. All right, what else we got?
Well, something else that kind of seems a little bit like a remake, but I don't think so. GrimLord, I put on my radar. That's part of the Next Fest thing that showed up, and I believe the demo's out, and that's one of the things that I will be playing tonight. It kind of looks a bit like Blade and Sorcery if you tried that, but it looks smooth, and I mean, if it completely moves well and like the movements actually hit and it's precise and accurate, then I just see this game being absolutely incredible. Like what Skyrim you would want to have, you know what I mean? And so you're kind of looting and exploring and like killing mobs and killing things, and you can craft your own weapons and use them, like be part of the blacksmithing and stuff. And it just looks cool. It looks fun, especially if, like I said, if the combat is great, then that would be wonderful.
Yeah, the graphics look good. I mean, yeah,
The
totally.
animations look smooth too.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Speaking of Skyrim and this, so Skyrim VR doesn't have as many
Great.
mods as the original Skyrim, but it has a ton of mods for itself too, and you can really dial that game into whatever you want. I was watching a guy doing mods on Skyrim VR, and I guess in regular Skyrim VR, when you cut somebody or you hit something, the sword or the axe will just pass through, and somebody put a mod in there that like your axe or your sword will actually stick into the person, and so you can't continue the stroke. That's just one example, but then that also came with like being able to like fuck with people. So you could like reach out with your hands and like grab their heads and like move it around and like move their facial features. He's like, this seems so wrong. He's just like grabbing people's noses and like wiggling
Wild.
their faces. Yeah. But if they're not aggressive, they don't do anything anyway. But he's like, this is so strange. Like you just walk up to people and molest them basically.
What do you
That's
call
wild.
it? I can see why they added that like that contact thing because I've seen people play like Skyrim VR, and there's like this like whole like just flicking the wrist
Mm-hmm.
like thing with the sword
Yeah.
because the game doesn't. It's such an old game, and like fucking Bethesda's lazy pieces of shit. They can't. They don't want to calculate like thrust and force behind a hit. So as long as the sword touches the body, if
Yeah,
you
it
just
counts
fucking
as a hit.
vibrate it on someone, you just deal like 90,000 damage, and then that's it. And that's why games like this, like GrimLord, like it looks good because there's contact in your sword or whatever the fuck you're using bounces back, and it seems like they actually have a physics system. So
I
Yeah.
agree. I think that this and it's always going to be better, right, when you make a game for VR. You know what I mean? And so I think this is going to be set out to succeed. It isn't out yet. It says that it's going to come out in the fourth quarter of 2022, so we should be seeing it in the next few months. And I will probably talk about it on the next episode and highlights because I do plan on playing this tonight because I wanted to check it out. And so, yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. Going back quickly, though, to the mod thing. The only mod I would only have on Skyrim, dude, is I'd change all my dragons to Thomas the Train. I saw somebody did that.
oh
I thought
god,
it was troll as shit, and I'm here for it, and I love it.
have you
Just
seen the one
instead
for
of the dragon, you just hear toot toot,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, oh, "What is
The
that?"
the opening
And when they
scene is
breathe
so
fire.
good. It's like
yeah.
they're gonna chop your head off, but instead of like the growl, it's like choo choo, and
Exactly.
it's so it's
and
the
it's
best.
like, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
But no,
I don't
this
agree.
game, GrimLord, looks awesome. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
What are we
Yeah.
looking at? Is this still Grimwood? Has a
No,
Gatling
this
gun?
is Choo Choo Charles. It's like this fandom that was created in the Thomas the Chain Engine like lore, and then it kind of became its own thing.
Oh,
Kind of
gotcha.
like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well,
Um,
it started from that Skyrim meme. Like the guy
Ah.
said that he made this game because that Skyrim meme was so popular. And then he thought, oh, wouldn't this be, it could be an actual cool game idea. So I guess we'll see on Choo Choo Charles.
That's pretty hilarious.
Sweet.
Or hilarious, sorry. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. Although that does look terrifying. You guys know me and spiders. Holy shit. But that'll be fun. Hopefully they don't have spiders in GrimLord because I know how much dark fantasy action RPGs love to put them in. So we'll see.
they're not just any kind of spiders; they're giant spiders.
They're trained spiders, dude.
Gross.
Gross. Speaking of swords and sorcery, we have mounts and blades. We know about this game, Nick. What's going on with this?
They're doing their full release on the 25th.
It's still in early access?
Yes.
Holy shit.
And the worst part is I just picked it up like 2 weeks ago or like a week ago.
No,
not
you say
knowing
you play
this.
all the time, right?
Yeah, I play like maybe like once or twice a month. Like it's like one of those games I can just pick up and play, right?
Yeah.
But because it's coming out, everybody's like, "Oh no, my saves!" And I'm like a solid 11 hours into this playthrough. I'm just like, "Oh fuck! I hope my save doesn't get invalidated." Because it doesn't happen every time they update the game.
Well, this one's a pretty big one. Who knows? So
Yeah.
what are they promising? What's coming out?
They're holding a lot of things to their chest. A lot of it's refinement things, as well as like the actual late game scenario, along with more things to do with castles and assaulting them.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, there's going to be like more weapons, obviously, and other things that are added. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy like add another faction or anything like that. I don't think that's going to be the case. But from like my understanding, they're holding what is actually coming out on 1.0 pretty close to the chest. I do know that they're doing like a release party where people are dressing up like knights and like factions from the actual game. But all I have to say is if you do pick up this game and you do decide to play it, do not attack the race that's based on Mongolians when you are super low level because you will get fucked up. Dude, just here's like so I literally was playing like before we even started the podcast. Bless you. And like I didn't know how their faction fights. It's all just archer cavalry.
Yeah,
all of
archer
it.
cavalry.
And so
That's
it's just
how they-
running around you is just you're like, ow, 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 ow. All your dudes are dying because they're all poor farmers with like lupus. They're just like, ow, ow, ow.
lupus
It's
and
fucking
arrows in their
terrible.
heads. Yeah, that's not a
Yeah,
good
it's just-
combination.
You're like, this fucking sucks. How do I beat this? And
Yeah,
it just
dude.
turns out just having more archers or more cavalry, really. Well, that's the other thing. Their cavalry is just as good fighting with melee combat as they are with archery. So it's like, what the fuck do you do?
They were a crazy army, man. I'm cool that they're represented it correctly in this game.
Fun history fact: did you know that like Chinggis, because his name was actually called Chinggis, not Genghis. He was one thing that he would do when he was sieging a city he would have 3 different colored tents, and those 3 colored tents meant essentially peace terms, right? He would just show up with the first color, and it was like an open invitation, and everybody knew this because of everyone's like, hey, everyone's getting killed by this guy named Chinggis. We should probably learn about him. The first color essentially meant we will assimilate you into our culture. We will peacefully take over. You just have to give up. We're not going to murder anybody. Then the second tent was like, okay, you've pissed us off. We're going to kill every male that exists above, like, I think the age of like 10 or something like that. And then the final tent was like, we're going to kill everybody, women and children too. And like, there's a long story because I from what I know, from what I understand, a lot of we didn't know that much because they didn't really keep that many good records. But there was a huge unearthing of like how to pronounce his name correctly and a bunch of other things about him that were unearthed like 8 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun fact.
Super interesting podcast called The Wrath of the Khans. It's probably the best podcast I ever listened to. Khan as in, Genghis Khan.
Yeah, he
It's
literally
4
killed so
hours
many
long and
people-
it's incredible.
he literally killed so many people that it affected the ozone layer.
Yeah, when they do
And they
core
went-
samples, they can tell that the CO2 dropped while he was reigning because he killed so many farmers. That's major.
Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
savage.
my daughter has spots on her back called Mongolian, the Mongolian dots or whatever. She has those because of this fucking guy. I don't know how it all works out, but yeah, there's blue dots that anybody that has any descendants from the Mongols
What?
gets.
I
Yeah,
gotta see this.
yeah, dude, look it up. It's called the
Young Jamie, pull it up.
Yeah, it's called the Mongolian. Yeah, look, she has not like that. She has like 3 of them. She has like 3 of them.
Jesus.
But yeah, they say sometimes they go away and sometimes they don't. But this was a thing that like the Mongols had where they could identify which babies were theirs and which ones weren't. And they would just kill
That's
the ones that didn't have it.
crazy.
Yeah. And so it ended up being a trait that got passed down because all the babies that didn't have it died. So if they come back and take over the world, Luna's going to live. That's all I got to say.
Luna will be the matriarch. She will live.
How nuts is this, guys? That is fucking nuts.
If you think about it pretty deeply, it's insane.
It's insane. Yeah.
Like technically she has Mongolian in her apparently, but what I'm saying is it's been that fucking long that you're like, she's just Mexican.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
think he's probably the most important person that's ever lived.
Arguably, yeah, I
Honestly.
would say so.
Yeah. But anyway, enough about that.
Welcome
Are we
back
talking
to the
about video
history
games?
podcast with DLG.
Guys,
Yeah, wow.
we have
Is
Next
this a
Fest. We
gaming
have
podcast?
all kinds of stuff.
All right.
Something else that also was a long time ago is the setting in the saloon and whole Wild West era, which is why I put Black Trail on my radar for VR. Another one. It seems to be a Western FPS. Which is cool because you go through and you're gonna have shootouts with people and bandits, and it's gonna be it seems like it's gonna be like Red Dead Redemption 2, but in VR. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with it. But I'm gonna have a lot of fun role playing this one, that's for sure. Picking up a cowboy hat and be like, "It's a root toot scoot and boogie, let's go!" And that's pretty cool that you could sit there and ride on a train with like an old ass machine gun, and you're just cranking in it, like, and it's just annihilating people. It seems. I think there's a lot of promise with this. I just hope it's not clunky and odd because even when I played what is it, Pavlov or whatever, that was kind of like weird and clunky getting used to. So hopefully with the older style guns, it'll be a little bit easier because they are the kind of guns that like you would have
they were
to,
clunky, yeah.
Yeah, they would be clunky just in nature. So hopefully that works out in the game's favor. But yeah, this looks very fun.
And it's historically accurate because I've only seen Native Americans been shot. So.
I was about to say something, dude. It's just nothing. But
okay, never mind.
Oh,
There's
here we go.
There's some Mexicans.
Here we go.
Some Mexicans are
Oh,
getting their
yeah,
just due now. But yeah, cool. I never thought about it, but yeah, like doing. I don't know if it's in the game, but it'd be so cool to do the quick draw. What is that called? Sam and I were talking about it the other day.
Well, it's like a shootout.
A shootout? Is that what it's called, Bobby?
well,
A duel?
Yeah.
What's that
probably
called?
Technically-
Like, by the way, the rules are ridiculous. You wait till the first guy goes for his gun before you can. What the fuck? It's like starting a race
Yeah.
after the first guy starts running. It's so strange. But yeah, what's it called?
Yeah.
I think just
But
a
this
duel.
game,
A duel?
Black Trail,
Yeah, it's
comes
literally just
out
called a
in
gun duel.
2022. But I think it is just a gun duel, yeah. And I think you can do that in this game, Black Trail. So, well, at least when it gets released in 2022. But the demo's out now, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, let us know how it is next week.
For sure.
Mine are really cool. Really
Mine.
quick. Slay the Spire has a board game coming out. According to the website that I went to, it's an 8.2 out of 10 for whatever that means. It's 1 of 4 players, and it's a cooperative deck building game. So I believe that all 4 players are building a deck together to get through the game. And I'm looking at it extra hard because I'm digging these co-op board games ever since, was it Cuphead, Bobby?
Mhm.
Like, I think it's such a cool, for me, it's novel, and I'm digging it. And then, this is an IP that kind of started a genre, really, Slay the Spire. So, might be something I'll be picking. It's perfect for DLG Con, for sure. So, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, anybody out there with expendable income, pick it up, and we'll play next year. But learn how to play it before you come to DLG Con.
I still think the best DLG Con game has to be that Monster Madness thing. Like the one that's
Oh,
like
that
you
game
play the
is
D&D
great.
character.
Monster
like you can do,
Madness.
like
It's so easy. Like anybody can play.
apparently Bobby, because you didn't play with us, right?
I played later, but yeah.
Yeah, so
know.
they changed a lot of the rules, and it's just way more. From what Bobby was telling me, it's just way more involved and way more like just user friendly and fun.
Yeah.
Well, no, the original version was fine, but they changed some stuff that I think made it better in this
Yeah.
new version. And the new version that we played was based on magic characters, I
What?
believe.
No.
No, they're based on D&D like
Oh,
characters,
D&D,
and
that's
then it was
right. Yeah,
it was
D&D.
Baldur's Gate characters, and then the expansion is just monsters. Like it's like they're all joke monsters. Like my character was a dragon who was a businessman, like an
Yeah.
investment broker.
Yeah, in
And
the
it's
first
all
game,
stuff
the
like that.
characters were they range from sci-fi to fantasy. There was it was like robots or aliens.
No, dude,
or-
you're getting 2 games mixed up.
Am I thinking of a
Yeah,
different
you're
game?
thinking
This is
of
the Dungeons and
Smash Up?
Dragons game.
Oh, Smash Up. Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
And we didn't play
Smash Up.
Smash Up
game.
this year.
No, we didn't pay it because
No, we didn't.
Gummy didn't bring it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think it's
fun.
a 75-pound box now that he has all the DLC.
It
so
is
maybe
enormous,
Yeah.
But dude, also, I think that the classic DLG Con game is cool. You can't fuck with the Duke, dude.
Dude,
Gotta have the Duke.
dude.
See, I don't like those types of games because it's just like lying.
You just
and
tell the truth the
deceiving,
whole
and it's,
time?
like,
No,
very
Bobby,
competitive.
Bobby, listen. All right, listen. You had a good strategy though, and that is the strategy is to tell the truth.
Wha-
That is a strategy though, because people will start thinking you're lying, and then it's perfect because then they have no idea.
Yeah.
And you win by
Yeah, but then
not
once
lying,
people figure that out, then the jig is up, and they know how to.
and that's exactly
That's when you
when
modify
switch it
your.
up. That's when you
modify your
exactly.
strategy. Yeah.
Come on, Bobby, you're there. You're
I
like
w-
80% there. There's like 20% more shitty, and then you'll be great, dude. You just got to get a little shitty with it, just a little lie.
Days. I remember last year your strategy was like lie about. Oh no, I forgot what it was. Oh, act like you're lying no matter what you're doing. That's what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did really
tell
well
the
that shit.
truth in the most suspicious way
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah. Also, there's a game coming out called Capes. The tagline that I saw was XCOM meets The Boys. So, it's that way. That right there, I'm almost sold. If you deliver a game that works and those two things are true, you got it. So if you take a realistic look at superheroes, with collateral damage and all that kind of stuff that, the comic books ignored for 80 years, and you add the XCOM vibes where you get to build a team and build your characters and get them new powers and all of that stuff, which this game does have. I think a tactical turn-based game is perfect way to do. I'm sorry, superheroes is the best way to do tactical turn-based. Not the best, but very good. It's like what Bobby was talking about. Like, why can't we get a Star Wars tactical turn-based? Well, we got a superhero one, and hopefully it's good. There used to be one a long time ago, like Half-Life 1 time ago. I forget what it was called. I tried playing it a few times, but it was just so clunky. I'm glad that somebody's giving it another shot, and so I'm very excited about this. And that wraps up the radar. Damn.
Yeah. That's pretty cool though that they've got the superhero tactical turn bases, because that's pretty different than the one that both you and I played, which we'll cover in our highlights, which are games that we have played and can talk about, and might as well start it off with the Homicidal All-Stars.
Yeah.
Since that too was a tactical turn base, and I've already noticed some differences between that because I played the Homicidal All-Stars and I see you did as well.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
I liked it. I can't say anything bad about it. So basically, it's kind of like in a Running Man situation. It's like a game show. There's like an announcer. He's calling out everything you're doing. So if you go on Overwatch, he'll be like, he's taking the patient route, or he's got his gun ready for whoever comes out. That kind of thing. And it wasn't overdone. I thought this was one of the better games. I liked it a lot. I didn't have any problems with it at all.
I agree. I liked it a lot as well. I liked using the different mechanics and environment as well. I always love when they have that in tactical turn-based. Like nothing gets me more excited than launching a oil barrel, lighting it on fire, and exploding dudes into other shit. It's great. I love that. But I really enjoyed the commentary, and I thought that was a really fun and refreshing new take on. Just the way that tactical turn bases kind of all are. They're all very similar, but that was awesome. It was a very Borderlands feel to me almost.
Yeah, it had that look to it. And the thing about tactical turn base is it can turn. It's like a chess match. You're playing chess, right? So it can get a little stale sometimes. So having that announcer in there just yelling, that was pretty good. And then the characters actually have names. They're classes, but they also have names. So, like the heavy weapons person is Zoe. So he was like, and Zoe chops him up with her Gatling gun. So calling out the plays with the player's name, and it just adds the whole thing, makes it look like a board game. I enjoyed it for sure.
All I gotta say is, imagine releasing this shit like 1991 and just completely. The news would be all over you. They'd be like, Homicidal All-Stars.
Oh, for sure.
This is causing all the violence in all the world.
Yeah. Russia invaded Ukraine because the Homicidal used All-Stars.
Yeah, it looks fun. If you like tactical turn-based shooters.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's definitely good, and it just says for release date that it's coming out soon, unfortunately. But you can play the demo right now, and it was a part of the Next Fest.
Bobby, I need your hot take on Overwatch 2, man.
All right.
First of all, I know that they got DDoS attacked to their opening day.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't log in for the first 2 days, and there was a queue to get in. That was annoying, but whatever, man. I don't get super upset at games or companies for launch day problems, because that shit's hard, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just. It's kind of what I've just come to expect, and I understand that there's going to be difficulties, even day one bugs. I mean, yeah, dude, this is the only thing I got, and I know we got a million games here, so I guess I can just jump right into it. They did not deliver on the promise of PvE in this game, which I was the most excited for. That's going to be a year out, most likely.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
They had PvE in the Halloween special for like the first year the first game was out. How the fuck do you fuck that up? Thanks, Blizzard. Don't fuck up Diablo.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was really excited about the PvE portion of this because I played a good amount of Overwatch, and it got really old really quick for me. I don't know, it just didn't quite click with me. And I love Team Fortress 2, which is, I guess you could kind of compare the two. Basically, I jumped into Overwatch 2, and I hadn't played Overwatch 1 in forever, so I didn't really know or recognize all the changes. So when I started playing, it kind of just seemed like Overwatch to me. I had to go online and look up like what actually was Overwatch 2. Like what are we getting here?
Real quick, it is just Overwatch 1, I think, right?
It's just
No,
an
there's new
Overwatch
stuff.
one with a champion pack and a map pack, pretty much. And some
Now there's
ability
some
changes.
changes, but honestly, when you jump into the game and play, it doesn't seem like it. There are 3 new heroes. I don't know if what they call them. I think it's heroes. 3 new heroes, 6 new maps. They got rid of the 2-point capture, which a lot of people didn't like, and they have this new mode where you push these. You fight over a robot that pushes a barricade, so it's kind of like a double payload mode. So yeah, they did make some changes. One of the big changes that they made was games are now 5v5 instead of 6v6, and I guess the meta was to have an off tank. So you run double tank, and one of them was an off tank. But now you just have a single tank, a healer, and 3 DPS. They've also switched around some characters a lot. Like they made Doomfist a tank. Like they've really just because of this big meta shift, they've reworked some of the characters. What I found really interesting though was they got rid of loot boxes entirely and introduced a battle pass, and you can also complete weekly quests to get Overwatch coins, which you can then spend on other cosmetics. So this
A lot of
battle
people are mad
pass,
about that.
yeah,
A
people are
lot of
upset
people.
about the battle pass. I don't know. The reason that I heard is they have a character you have to unlock with the battle pass. Now it's the first thing you unlock, so if you get it, you're just going to get that character, and that's Kiriko, one of the new ones. But they did say there would eventually be other ways to get that character. I just think it's interesting because it kind of shows where we're at in gaming. When Overwatch 1 came out, that was 2016, loot boxes were everywhere. Like that was the thing you did to monetize your game. Now, the landscape has officially changed. It's battle passes. It's all about battle passes. That's how you monetize these games. By the way, Overwatch 2 is free to play.
I think a lot of that was countries that are, outlawing loot boxes.
Europe,
Gambling.
Yeah, Europe. I don't know if they flat out outlawed it, but they
limited it for sure.
Yeah, or maybe it wasn't entirely Europe, but there was just some European countries.
Dude, I love how the EU is just fucking telling, they're changing things. That
it was
Hey,
super
Apple,
annoying.
change your phones.
Yeah, they're making Apple change their phones. It's
great.
Well,
the charger.
Yeah,
which they should have been doing anyway. But it is kind of interesting though, because when Overwatch came out, I think I bought the game. They had it for $40 for the base edition, and then there was a deluxe. I probably got the base edition for $40, but I remember immediately spending $100 on loot boxes. As stupid as I think loot boxes were, and as much as I don't really care that much about cosmetics, I still somehow felt, I don't know what that was.
I gotta go see what that is. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that was a loud noise. But I still kind of fell right into that trap. Like, think about that, dude. I spent $40 on the game, then I spent $100 on a chance at some cosmetics, And the loot box system, you don't know what you're getting. It's kind of exciting, like, ooh, I may get something good, but you never do. You just get a bunch of fucking portraits and sprays and shit, and maybe like one cool skin. But I think where we're moving is a lot better. The battle pass, sure. The earning coins and then spending those. At least you can get what you want. Because there were a lot of games during this whole loot box craze where you just couldn't get, there was no way to get what you want. The only thing you could do was buy loot boxes and spend a ton of money and just hope you get something. Kind of like buying card packs back in the day of like Magic or, any collectible card game or even baseball cards. You just buy a bunch of packs and you're basically gambling. You just hope you get what you want. And that's, I don't know. I don't particularly like that in games.
Yeah, it is gambling for sure. It's like going and getting scratchies, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll win $5,000, and you don't.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe
you may win another
$2.
ticket for free.
Well, and the other thing too is like you end up just with a lot of crap. I remember when I bought Star Wars, the CCG game, it was always a certain amount of commons, uncommons, and one rare in there. And of course, you hope you get a good rare, but it's not a great way for a game. Like if there's one thing, oftentimes there'll be like one character that you really like, and there's one particular skin that you really want, and there's just no way where you can just say, you know what, I will give you like money, like hard cash, if I can just get what I want, and I don't need any of this other garbage. So I'm kind of glad we're moving away from loot boxes. I think the whole Battlefront 2 thing was a real nail in the coffin, but
Overwatch 2, kind of crap, huh?
no, I mean the multiplayer is fine if you like that. Yeah, it's still Overwatch. It's fun, sure. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. There's so many new characters. I just play Mercy and heal, and I do pretty good at that. But if you liked Overwatch, you're gonna love this. But I was hoping for the PvE content personally.
I don't think the PvE content is the moneymaker.
No, of course not.
Yeah, because look, you're buying skins for what? To show them off to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And you play against more people.
Well, they got this new thing too. These things called mythic skins, where you can customize.
Oh, that's
skins.
cool.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for introducing a new way to take people's money, Blizzard.
when I knew that loot boxes had gotten too crazy was when I saw it in Milo's toys when she was like 6 and 7. The LOL surprise, I think it's called. You buy these little loot balls, basically. You don't know what you're buying. And then you open it up, and then you can get any of whatever amount of 40 different characters. And then there's rare ones, and there's medium ones, and all of that stuff. But what ends up happening is you just keep buying these fucking things, and you keep getting the commons over and over and over, and they want a full set. And, yeah, you can sell the rare ones for a lot of money, but that's not the point. The point is, like, they want them all. Oh, and they're all hoochie mamas. They're babies and hoochie mamas at the same time. It's very strange. Very mixed feelings.
That started with my generation, by the way, with brats.
And I was gonna say, I don't know, like, do you remember the fucking quarter machines where you could get all the little homies?
Yeah, the little homies.
Oh, homies. Dude, there's a documentary on that. That guy is I believe, from my understanding, like per like quarter spent, was the highest earner of all time for like quarter machines.
Yeah.
It's
Every
like
now and then
people
I'll see one of those in a Mexican, like a taco shop or
just taped down somewhere on a windowsill or something, like all faded out.
Well, yeah, you got to show love for the homies, dude.
No, I'm talking about the
like-
vending machines, like the little gumball machines where you get those. I still see those from time to time.
Oh, I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but yeah. I don't know. And I feel like this type of stuff has always been around, but it's very insidious, and I'm glad we're finally acknowledging it because it's just...
Yeah.
It's really shitty when
takes
that stuff is
advantage.
marketed towards children.
Yeah.
Like that's
where
where the problem is.
It's fucked, dude. And then you're selling... Like a big one would be $160.
I mean, adults are pretty bad, too, because it's like... I don't know, dude. I was watching that Nick Kroll stand-up. Pretty funny, man. His first stand-up...
New one?
Yeah, new one.
Oh,
I watched his
that's
first
his
one.
first time?
No. I watched his first one like years ago, and I thought it was really bad. And I love Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll's original comedy was shit, by the way. Like when he first started in the public eye, it was
not
bad.
great.
So there's a new one on Netflix, right?
New one on Netflix, pretty funny. But he was talking about how he was like addicted to snacks and how to get hypnotized for it. And he's like, I have the self-control of a child, but the financial resources of an adult.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about these loot boxes.
Yeah.
It absolutely shouldn't be available to children, but it's still pretty shitty to do that to adults because it's not like we're that much better,
Yeah.
Do you think like a solution in Korea would be like the case when it comes to like playing video games online that have to be tied to your actual government ID? So like little kids wouldn't be able to use loot boxes?
That's too heavy a question for this
Yeah.
lady in the podcast.
I don't know.
probably.
Yeah, I was going to say DLG never gets political unless we're talking about loot boxes. Fuck your loot boxes and your gambling. Got it. Moving on.
One thing on politics, really quick. I love that, like DLG Con, we had all kinds of political, right and left, and all it, and nobody even gave a fuck. We just played games,
Yeah, we're all nerds.
Yeah. We're deep in the heart of
That's how it should be.
Texas, and nobody
Yeah.
gave a fuck. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was savage. It was great.
Yep. Savage.
Yeah, I definitely learned that to my fucking new vocabulary. Just
Yeah. Savage.
Everything's
So
savage.
understated. Like somebody would just rip somebody's fucking asshole, and like, oh my god, he said that about his mom. I'd be saying, I'd be like, savage. Just like
Savage.
it's really good. All right, cool. We have a lot of Next Fest games to go through. How late we running already?
Too late.
Too late?
Or an hour in.
Yeah.
Or an hour in? Okay. I could do a couple and then leave some for next week. This is no particular order. We already covered. He already took it off. I'll talk about illWill. It's a first-person shooter. Nothing crazy or there's nothing that really stands out other than the look of it and the atmosphere. It is creepy. It feels like Little Nightmares if Little Nightmares was a first-person shooter. Like all the creatures are very strange. The atmosphere is strange. The lighting is weird. The music, they did a great job with whatever they had. They did a great job with it. I had a really good time with it. I played the entire demo and I didn't finish it. I had to try like 5 times to get the whole thing done. I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually. So
Is it difficult?
I found it difficult, yeah. Until you learn what each enemy does, and then obviously you can
How to counter it.
Yeah, how to counter it, and then after that, it gets better, but or it gets easier. But yeah, the whole time you're just kind of like creeped out about the whole thing. Yeah, little laughs and shit. Yeah. So that's one of the ones that I really enjoyed. What'd you play from Next Fest, Days?
I'm gonna get started with one I didn't enjoy, which was Undecembered. I had a lot of hope for it. There's a lot of hype around Diablo 4, and I'm super excited for Diablo, so I was kind of craving a little bit of a hack and slash, the top-down isometric RPG. And I played this, and it's just kind of like, whatever. I get what they were doing, which was like, they were showing everybody a demo of like what it could be like, what it could be, like when you have everything and you're like the top tier, but in doing that, it's like, all right, when you give me like a sorceress and I can do literally everything and I'm just like wrecking mobs like it's nothing, I am already bored.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're showing me what the game is like without all of the shitty grinding that I know is necessary to get to that point, and it's boring, it's like, oh, dude, no, you failed. You fucked up. Like, absolutely not. And so I think I've seen some people talking about how this is kind of like a watered down, like, Lost Ark or something, and I can kind of see that too. But this was a letdown for me. And I got a buddy that also, too, played it, and I love what he said. He was like, I just want one top-down isometric RPG hack and slash that doesn't have terrible voice acting. And I so agree that voice acting's ass in this. And so I don't know. I certainly don't think it's worth the top price. I don't know. I won't be getting it. I'll just wait for Diablo. I was disappointed with this one.
There you go. And I was kind of happy. I'm a little let down that you're chopping it down. Too bad. Not from your review, but from I wanted good things from this one. And it sucks when you're like, you do a couple moves and you wipe the entire floor, and then there's no strategy to it. I get it.
It's just too easy.
It's too easy.
It was unfortunate. It was too easy, and then the story wasn't unique enough to like excuse the easiness to me. So like, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan. It seemed like it had a lot of promise. I mean, it looks great, like it definitely looks really pretty, and I wanted it to work, but no, it's just like I said, it's too easy. I think. So it
Wolcen
made it boring.
was the game that we were talking about, Days. That was like
Wolcen is fantastic.
Wolcen. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I beat the shit out of that game. I loved that game.
It's
That's
a nice
part of
mix.
why I got excited for Undecembered, because I was like, oh, maybe this will be kind of like Wolcen, you know? And no, it's not. It is a little bit more like Lost Ark, but it's boring, which is unfortunate.
Real quick round table here. What are the chances Diablo 4 will be good? What's everybody's thoughts?
65. I'm giving
I was
it.
gonna say 40%.
Oof.
Dude, there's already leaks about details of the game, like regarding monetization and stuff like that, and it's not looking good. Like
Great.
the whole survey thing that was being done in Germany that got leaked, involving like, would you pay to be able to advance and get certain cosmetics, and all these things. And it was just, you could already tell that it's going to be like Diablo 3, where they started off in a way different level, and then they're going to just have to change it drastically so people actually play it.
I was just thinking as you were speaking, I was like, oh, we just have to say that, um, well, Blizzard's just a microtransaction company now. And
Yep.
as the hardcores, if we want to call ourselves that, or just like, it's not even that. It's more like people that don't get enjoyment off of perks from spending cash, I guess, get it, or people who just get it, we don't. We don't enjoy that. We don't appreciate the strategy.
It's not that hard. It's just like, just don't make it so that people that pay the game have an advantage.
But dude,
just
they're
skins and
making
cosmetics
money
only.
hand over fist. So are they wrong?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, dude, we
but
could
that's
sit
what I'm
here
saying
all
is-
day and talk about how like that's wrong and everything, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, dude, look how much
That's what
money
makes
Diablo,
money,
Diablo
yeah.
Immortal. People
So-
say one thing and then they say something completely different with their wallets. So,
I'll rephrase.
But-
Christian, what are the chances that Diablo 4 is good for us?
You all will hate it.
Ha! Probably. Bobby, you're on that boat?
I don't have much interest in Diablo. I never really did. I got into Diablo 3 like a couple of times, but yeah, I'm not really excited at all for Diablo 4.
Ultimate question, Dodger. I will, 25% chance that I'll like it. 25%, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I just
We'll see.
Those are hard numbers, folks.
people like they're saying it publicly that they're just like, we're trying to keep it as classic as we can, but
Yeah.
the things in the behind the scenes are very different apparently.
I
so.
just really hope Decker Kane is not. Let the old man die. He was 90 in the first game. Like, let the
now
old
he's
man-
like 800.
Yeah, let the old man
I don't know,
die.
man. What is dead may never die, right? So we'll see, right? I'm kind of excited though, because my one coworker who is quite a PC gamer, who is obsessed with Blizzard, he got into like I think the closed beta for this, so he's gonna be playing it kind of soon, and I'd love to hear his thoughts and talk about them because yeah. I mean, I want to believe that it's going to be great, but Blizzard just consistently has just been like money sluts. And so they're pumping out garbage and charging it top dollar. So it's like, I don't know, but who knows? Maybe this could be the one.
Yeah, they're gonna go back to. It's just gonna be $60, and we're all gonna love it. And it's gonna be great, guys.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to bring us all back to the early thousands.
But if
Yeah.
it did that, they would sell so many fucking copies.
It doesn't matter. They won't make more
Yeah.
money than one guy spending $40,000 on everything in the game. They won't.
That's
It's
true.
just it's just
Exactly.
the truth. Cricket Soldier, welcome
Remember
to the show,
Diablo
man.
Immortal, dude. Like that's a perfect example of that. Their fucking mobile thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, we could talk
Not
for
a lot of love for
forever
Blizzard.
about this shit, dude. Real quick, what I'm going to talk about though is I want to talk about oh god, I'm going to butcher this.
Inkulinati.
Inkulinati. Yeah.
We talked about it. Yeah, nobody can pronounce it.
Did you try it?
No.
Oh, I feel like you should because this one is pretty neat. It's like a card. It's kind of like a card battler in a way. There were aspects that reminded me of Magic in a sense because it's almost like you have this like ink drawing dude. And that is essentially your planeswalker because there's you and then there's him. And he creates like all of your army and brings up a bunch of stuff. And so you want to kind of protect him, but you can push and move enemies on this line to try and kick them off, or you could kill them with the creatures that your Inkulinati dude or whatever drew. It's pretty fun, and like I like the different levels that they have in it, and like yeah, you can draw and create different characters as well too. It seems pretty promising. I don't know. I had a blast with it. I thought the story was kind of fun. I really liked what was unique was that the game is definitely obviously played and drawn like as if you were reading some medieval text or something, but then they have these like really cute, funny, like cinematic cutscenes that are in it, which are pretty entertaining as well. And like people definitely put in a lot to voice act, or well, not voice act, but like to act in them and shit like that too. And so like every time they introduce a boss, it's like a whole little cutscene of like how you come up on the boss and like you're this dude wearing a full set of armor and you just whip out a notebook and it's like everybody gets really serious and they dip their pen in some ink and then boom, you fight. Like it's like that's unique. I haven't seen shit like that and I thought it was really cute and really fun. So I definitely really enjoyed this game and I'll be keeping an eye out for it as well. I thought it was super funny and fun to play and really liked it. Yeah, I saw that on the Next Fest and it's coming this winter, but definitely check it out. I like that one.
I definitely love the art style and the silliness of it.
How could you not love the art style? This is great. It looks like when you watch Monty Python stuff, and there's like those cartoons would come out on the edges and do it's that kind of old style, 13th, 14th, 15th century, something like that, art style. It's great.
The medieval.
But second thing on this is when I was a kid, I used to like draw a random line on the right side of the paper and a random line on the left side of the paper, and those would become the bases, and one would be one base, and wherever a turret would fit, I'd put a turret, or whatever a window would fit, I would put archers, and then based on the random lines, I'd have these two castles right next to each other and send troops at each other. I would play this game or games like this before, on pen and paper, real pen and paper. So it's crazy that like I was the only one, obviously, because this isn't the first game that's like this. But yeah, people are making video games on something that I thought I invented on pen and paper. Coming from the audience, we have Cricket Soldier saying, "How much does Bobby's BattleNet account worth?" He said he'll pay at Clown says he'll pay $800. And Zaya says he has got $15. What do you think, Bobby? What do you think it's worth?
My BattleNet account, it's probably worthless, dude. I mean, yeah, I got a lot of stuff in Heroes of the Storm, but who cares about that game?
Yeah, nobody plays that game, so yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of WoW stuff, a lot of old stuff, but like nothing actually that valuable. I never really grinded that much. I got a lot of games on that account, but yeah, dude, it's not worth that much. Compared to some other people who have some really rare stuff.
Nick, what's up with Gundam Evolution? I know you warned us about it, and you said...
So, yeah, apparently I played it right after they fixed a lot of shit. So it still got mixed reviews because of when it got released and like how it is now, right? I think I ended up playing a total of like 25 games, and only DC'd once. Like as far as like having the issue that people were talking about, like somebody leaving, canceling a game, somebody getting disconnected. I only experienced that once out of those like 25 games. It is actually really fun. Does it feel like you're piloting a Gundam? Yes, because when you fucking pilot the super shitty tank Gundam that has like tracks, you're slow as shit. And when you're doing the one that's like super anime powers that has thrusters, you're like bouncing around and stuff. So you actually feel like you're piloting the Gundams that you actually have. But what I will say is that it's kind of like an Overwatch clone. It's like one of those like positional based like shooters where everyone's got abilities. You're trying to complete a task like domination or like push to load and all that stuff. I like it a lot. A, because I'm a stupid Gundam fan, and B, it just seems to be smooth, and it actually feels like you're piloting the Gundam. I do see where people were mad about the premium Gundams, because I believe there's 12 free Gundams, and then there's 6 premium ones. For example, my favorite Gundam of all time is just your normal humdrum bad guy, and it's called the Zaku 2. Well, they're infamously known for using laser axes instead of laser swords. And I was like, hey, man, I'm playing this Zaku 2. I don't got a fucking laser axe. What the hell? Well, it turns out that it's a completely different class and a different Gundam, but that you had to pay for. And like I said, it's like the Super Gundams, you can definitely tell when they're on the battlefield as well. They're not really pay to win, but they just have more intense effects and stuff like that.
They're flashier, is what you're saying?
They're flashier, exactly.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's what, it's basically cosmetic.
Yeah, it's just, Well, it's not. It's not because some of them have unique abilities. I believe there's one for every class or two for every class. But like I really wanted to play the Zaku melee, Zaku 2 melee, but I couldn't.
Did
I'm
you
not gonna
spend the
fucking-
money? Did you spend the
No.
money?
No.
How much was it? Give us an idea.
It's free.
No,
The game's free.
no. The Zaku
Oh,
melee
I believe it's $10
for just that one mech.
just that one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work it out to like pay, I think it's $60 for the game, or not $60. I think it's $30. You can buy 5 of them or 4 of them. Like the number is pretty. Obviously, buy all of them at once to get a discount kind of thing. It is free to play, so why the fuck not? You know.
Hey, if the base gameplay, being an Overwatch clone, you could do worse. If
I'll tell you right now, it's better than fucking Overwatch.
we should play it, Nick. We should play some Overwatch.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Well, Overwatch or this?
No, I'm not gonna play this.
What the fuck was wrong with you? I don't play Overwatch with you. So I can be equally as bad as I
I'll
was.
play the
before.
$1 billion version, not the $10,000 version.
Not the cheap money grab because somebody likes robots as a kid version.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
sometimes you got to deal with all of that greed. You can't always have bravery, right? So, Amelia, you want to tell me a little bit about bravery and greed? Let's keep it moving along.
I will. I'm probably only going to do like 2 more of these, and then I'll save the rest for next week because Next Fest was huge. Is it still going on?
It's going on until
I
tomorrow.
think it's going on until tomorrow.
Okay. Because
which is October 10th. We should say that since it's
Oh.
released. So when you're listening to this on the podcast, it's gone. You're too late. But if you're catching it on Twitch, which you should check out our Twitch since you can see all of us live when we record this on Sunday nights, you got 1 more day left.
this is what was funny was Capes had a demo. I just downloaded it, and it wasn't on Netflix. Well, I didn't find it on Next Fest, but I was like, "Oh shit, this has a demo! I can't wait!" So I'll play that demo, and I'll talk about that next week. I was really happy that I'm really excited about Capes, but more on that later.
Do you guys think that next fest? Holy shit, my brain just melted. Is like the future of where smaller company games can really get their shit out there.
Yeah, man, this
I'm
is
excited
great.
for it though. I love Next Fest.
This
I'm
is
a
the
huge
best.
fan of demos.
This is better than Summer Sale for sure.
Well, those demos aren't
Yeah.
going anywhere, too. It's just Next Fest is when they promote these.
And guys, I get it. Like, I didn't put games on here that had I'm not talking about technical difficulties. I'm not talking about like things that didn't work. Everything's on Unity. Fucking all my aspect ratios were all fucked. My fucking Nvidia kept telling me that I'm playing on the wrong resolution because Unity doesn't know what the fuck's going on because almost all these games. I'm excited about the fucking, when you're doing new things in video games. That's what I'm here for. If your game works on demo day, great. I know that you guys are hard at work, fucking in a garage, fucking long hours trying to get your demo done by Next Fest. I get it. I'm not going to talk shit. Games that just didn't work, I didn't even put it on the list. Why would I? I'm just going to try to highlight what I liked, and I get it. And I appreciate all those devs out there. Bravery and Sorcery is a hack and slash 2D, like jump around and kill things.
I thought it was Bravery and Greed.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? Did I just
Bravery and Sorcery, which is Blade and Sorcery is a VR game, but that's not what we're talking about.
I'm
We're
mixing
talking about
everything up.
Bravery and Greed.
Bravery and Greed. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Wow. Too much booze. So anyway, it's a hack and slash 2D brawler type game. It has literally everything, guys. Like it has co-op, it has versus, it has PvE, it has PvP, it has several characters, it has what do you call it? It has let's see. I wrote it all down. I have notes here. I took notes for the first time. The characters are so good. I played as like the wizard, and the wizard was so involved that I was like, this little wizard guy can hold a game by himself. Like somebody could have just made a game with just this wizard. He has so much things going on. And then there's like 4 other classes, and I was like, wow, this game has a lot going on for it. It has wave survival. It has like they threw everything at the wall, and a lot of it stuck. From what I could tell, I was having a really good time. The money that you earn, it's interesting. You could spend the money and get upgrades or whatever and get better stats, or the more you hoard your money, you get bonuses from hoarding money as well. It's called the greed meter. So it's like some sort of like risk versus reward on spending your money. I've never seen it before, or at least implemented it this way. But yeah, it's all over the place, but I had a good time with it. So all these games, a lot of the Next Fest games, their success is very pivotal on their price point. Like, I had a really good time with this, and I can't wait to play co-op with some friends. But obviously, I'm not going to pay $50 for this or $30. So, price point is super important on these games, and it might be one of the most important things after all the hardware. I mean, the software stuff. So very very important, guys. Don't fuck it up. That's it.
All right.
What do we got now?
Do we have one more game here? Exterminate Zombies.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
I
talk
played
about
that
that.
one.
I wasn't sure how much more Emilio was gonna talk about because he's got a big fat list. But all right, yeah, the Exterminate Zombies Get Paid. I definitely want to talk about this game. Was a lot of fun, dude. It's got 4-player co-op you can do. I haven't tried the co-op with it. I just did the first person playing, and what it is it's a point and click shooter that is wave survival. And it's just fun. I like the graphics. I thought it played well. There's a lot of different kind of guns. Yeah, you can run around with a flamethrower. There's all these different settings, and I thought it moved fluidly, and I've thoroughly enjoyed playing this. I thought it was pretty good, and the bosses are challenging enough. And it's just like I said, it's pretty fun and it's cool. And
Yeah.
basically, every time you kill a zombie, you get money, so you get paid. That's kind of how they have it, but
I
it's
played
a
this
fun
one as well.
top-down shooter.
I thought it was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't put it on the list. I think because I was having ultra wide issues and it wasn't playing all that well. But when I was playing it, it looked pretty good. It does remind me of one more game. I'm going to bring up one more, and it's called scroll up. It's called Bullets and Biters. Very similar, but Bullets and Biters is and I want to talk about this because Vampire Survivors made a new genre, basically, and nobody has a name for it. So I looked for the name of it, and I found one guy on a lot of people were talking about what's this called now, and one guy on Reddit said something that I really liked. It was called "It's a Vampire Survivor game," and what I like about that is like it pays homage to the first game that made it, kind of like a roguelike is like the game Rogue, right? So Vampire Survivor. So that's what I'm going to be used from now on. So this is a Vampire Survivor.
Vampire Survivor like.
Yeah, sure, but then it gets long. So I'm just.
It's
VS
already
like?
pretty long. We're just adding one syllable,
like.
dude.
Vampire.
This looks
A
this looks
VS like.
better.
Oh, sorry, Vampire Survival. See the difference?
Oh.
It's a Vampire Survival game.
Okay, but what if it's a
Does that work?
survival game where you play as a vampire?
Then we're gonna have real big issues, dude. Real big issues. That was V Rising,
talk
by the
about
way. We already had one of those. But yeah, this is one of those games where you don't aim and you run away from a lot of stuff. But it has the best graphics out of any one that I've ever seen. It kind of has a cell shaded thing going on, and you play as a sheriff. There's probably a homage to The Walking Dead, and you're using modern day machinery. So you can get a drone, you can get a turret. You're using a pistol, and it's almost exactly Vampire Survivor, except for you're moving everything over to zombies and a modern day. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah, this looks a lot better than the one that I was just talking about, dude. Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, especially that you can make yourself go huge and use vehicles and all. Yeah, that's awesome.
I was digging it. I played it over and over and over because I wanted to check out the different builds, basically. So just like Vampire Survival, Survivor. You this is gonna get confusing. Maybe I fucked up. You every time you level, you get a choice of 3, so you can actually make a build. And so yeah, I played it like 5-6 times in a row just to try the different builds out. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this one.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's about it for the games that we played this week. Quick shout out to Recycled subscribing for 50 months. 50.
Fucking
Thank you, man.
nuts.
That's a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
We also appreciate King Tyron subscribing for 3 months.
Not as much. It's actually like 3/50th is how much we appreciate yours. No,
Yeah, it's gonna be
thanks,
way
man.
less,
6%.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Just as
Tyron's
much,
like
actually.
prime beef and recycled's the Wagyu. Yeah.
What are the chances that this is your wife, dude? Because King Tyrant seems to have an obsession with you, Sniper.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's a healthy obsession. You know, I'll talk like twice a podcast, and then he'll
They're
like
like, "You
link the
killed it."
timestamp on YouTube, and he'll be like, "Yeah, rock on, man!" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that."
You're
it's
gonna be the next caster, Sniper. Don't worry about it. You'll kick Nick off real soon.
It's probably not Rianne because she's not that into like this guy's over how much my wife loves me. He's like a degree past that.
Wait till he gets a load of that mustache.
Yeah, this mustache might shut down the whole trip, dude.
How about this mustache is okay.
I'm digging it.
Sense jealousy. I sense jealousy.
I like it.
Okay. And my
I like
shirt.
it.
Dude, my
Alright.
mustache with that shirt? Come the fuck
Oh,
on.
that would have been great.
All right,
Yeah.
Ned
Yeah.
Flanders, calm down.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been so Ned Flanders. You're
Oh,
right.
damn. I know my Halloween costume now.
Perfect.
Fuck.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Nick.
I think you just
Damn.
roll
Hell
right into
yeah.
Mario,
You're welcome.
dude. That's a Mario mustache.
Llama Boy
Guys.
coming in with the first month, dude. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you for
Got
supporting.
49 to go, dude. If you could get in a space warp and make that 50, that'd be great.
A lot of catching up to do.
That's right.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it. All right, we don't have many listener questions, but we do have kind of a provocative one from Exaris here. I've been reading up on the upcoming graphics cards from NVIDIA and Radeon and their ensuing price war. Do you think the industry needs another brand to force companies to be more competitive overall, or are NVIDIA and Radeon enough?
Competition's always good for the consumer. I can you guys name a third Bobby can, but can you guys
I
name a
can.
third company?
Well, apparently
Oh,
Intel was
Intel.
developing video cards, and their whole thing was that they're gaming and editing video cards and like all these other things.
But very cheap, right? Like $350 is
Well,
what I saw.
they're
Yeah.
competing at that price level. They're not cheap. They're supposed to compete with like the NVIDIA
AMDs.
3060, and I don't know what Radeon has or AMD has at that level, but they're not going for the high end, at least not yet.
Am I
But did they pull out?
No, they had their 380 was not well received. I think they released it in some Asian country and it had a lot of issues. But this new one is supposed to be pretty good, but it's coming out soon. I think it's the 770 or something. I don't know the model number. But yeah, I don't know. We could see. And it might be nice to have a third company in the mix there just to shake things up, because this whole thing with GPUs
EVGA?
getting sold for like way overpriced. Apparently, NVIDIA's just like, okay, I guess that's the price now. That's MSRP.
Yeah.
It's just, get ready to pay like $1,500 for a graphics card whenever we release a new flagship. Like,
Not just that, but you know, they're having a hard time. Everybody's having a hard time getting the right components and all that stuff, and chip manufacturers.
well,
There's-
there shouldn't be a shortage this time because the whole thing
Yeah,
happening with Ethereum. It should be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But October 12th, I think, is when they're releasing the 4090. That's just right around the corner. I'll tell you something, though. Overwatch 2 ran fine on my 1080. on
Dude,
a-
the 1080 is like one of the most reliable cards, man. Everybody I know that still has one is like, I bet it's still working good.
Yeah. Facts.
I notice a difference when I switch to the widescreen monitor. It's pushing a lot more pixels, but still, I don't feel a big need to upgrade my computer or my graphics card at the moment, and
it'd be nice, but not a need.
Sure, it'd be great. And like the nerdy hardware guy in me always wants to do that, but at the same time, I'm just like, I've skipped the 2000 series, the 3000. Now the 4000 series is available, and they've got the 490, and then the two versions of the 480, which is basically like the lower end is the 470. But do I really need to? And if I do upgrade, do I need to get the 4090? Like, do I need to be spending like 500 watts?
I think you're totally fine with the 30 series. Totally.
The 3000 series? Well, the
3000
series, I don't know. Maybe they'll get cheaper, but they haven't really got that much cheaper. I mean, I could probably spend the same amount of money on a 4000 one. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, typically in the past, I've always gone on the very high end. And, it makes a difference with frame rates and everything.
And it lasts longer.
I don't know if they last any longer.
Well, your 1080 lasted till today.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think if I had a 1060, it would have lasted just as long. I don't think it really depends. Like, if you buy a 490, that's not going to last longer than a 480.
I'm not saying like the hardware is lasting longer. I'm saying the ability for the performance is going to last longer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's range.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Apparently, like you can. I don't think games are really pushing graphics anymore, and it's not like that big of a deal. But if I bought a 490 versus a 480, I think I'm going to be in the exact same spot years from now. I mean. Yeah, the 1080 is nice, and I'm still able to run a lot of games on it, but I didn't get a 1080 Ti, and I'm still doing fine.
I totally agree. I mean, like, I don't buy graphics cards because I can't play this one game without it like it used to be. It's time to get a new computer because my old one's running clunky, and I'm just going to get whatever current card is out. But if you're starting to charge $2,000 for the newest cards, that might not be the case anymore. NVIDIA.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That kind of plays into like my answer with this question too. Is that like I feel like the industry does need another brand to force companies to be more competitive, but it won't. I could imagine it will not be successful, and we wouldn't have a third brand though. And part of that is because people are brand whores. Like there's people that are ride or die in a video or a radio. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of distrust as well too. I think in the gaming industry where a lot of people will be like, the fuck is this? Like, like Cyberpower starts making their own graphics cards. People are going to be like, nah, I'm not going to get that. Well, especially if they're charging at the same price.
You also got to imagine with this because, I think there's a lot of brand loyalty when it comes to this stuff. Although now that EVGA is gone, I don't, I'm accepting all newcomers. But you also got to think about, they make a lot of deals with these graphics cards and CPUs. They put them in gaming consoles. They put them in pre-builts, so they come pre-packaged. So you can still make a lot of money if Xbox decides to use an AMD chip on their next gen console. Like that's probably way more important than selling a bunch of graphics cards to PC gamers. That's a bigger deal financially, I think.
However, I mean, going back to the argument, I wonder if they're going to start focusing on VR capability with graphics cards and not so much playing, because so many new games these days, aren't pushing the boundaries with graphics, but VR is. And so that might be more demanding on a computer if you're going to at least like connect it up and use it. I mean, but a lot of,
That's a good point.
But VR is a very small subset of something that's already a very small subset, which is PC gaming.
It's growing, I feel like, though. Nick, what's going on with that VR, PlayStation VR 2? Is that good or?
I haven't tried it yet. I don't know if I'm going to try it.
What? Okay.
I don't even think
you're like the sample size, dude. So you're like half and half, PlayStation, half PC. Like, which VR are you going to go with?
I mean, if anything, when it comes down to brass tacks, probably just PC.
Yeah.
It's just I play way more of it now. I only literally touch my PlayStation for like Binding of Isaac and any AAA games that come out for like PlayStation exclusives. I do play Street Fighter on it because I don't know why. But
get everybody there. Yeah. Half the people I play are on PlayStation or more They're almost all on PlayStation. It tells you what.
Yeah, because those people that's like the only game they play is Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And then why buy a gaming PC when you can just buy PlayStation 4 or 5 and just play PlayStation?
I forget it's almost 11 o'clock for you over there, dude. So let's wrap this bitch up. Oh, we have listener questions still, right?
One listener question from Recycled. Y'all like bass? Because I love some bass.
Yes, I do.
I read that as bad. Bass, and then I said, yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I love both. Both work. Yeah, I love bass and bass.
I'm
Yeah.
all about that bass.
I'm all about that bass,
no
and I'm
trouble.
all about catching a bass, chopping his head off, and cooking it in a campfire.
God.
Fuck yeah.
They're so gross, dude. They're all bony.
What? What kind of fucking bass are? Well, I mean,
What fish are
they're
you
not-
eating that don't have bones, dude?
Well, I mean, I don't even eat fish that much to begin with, but I know bass is not an edible
You're
fish.
the weirdo.
I've tried eating it once. and I
What?
was just like,
What?
You're
what
a
kind
weird
of fucking
person.
A largemouth
I like
bass
sea
is
bass.
pretty
Sea
good.
bass is tasty, but like
Okay.
a
Where do you guys-
largemouth bass is not good.
Where do you guys fall in the bass guitar in this? Bass.
I
There's a
slept
band member
bass.
that gets laid the least. I don't know. Like, what do you want to know about bass
Oh
guitars?
no, they
I thought they
they
got laid the
don't.
most, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely don't get laid the least.
Nick, were you a drummer in a band?
I was never in a band.
I sense
See,
jealous.
so how do
energy.
you know? Yeah. He's looking at the bass guitarist like, I want to get laid more than the bass guitarist.
I just listened to a podcast on mariachi
Play the cowbell.
music, and they were saying how there's no drum because you don't need one because they have something called the guitarrón, which is a gigantic guitar that does the whole bass line for them. So it's just like it's almost the same thing. It's like dom 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 dom. You don't need a drum if you got a big enough guitar. It's giant. They can't even carry it. It's on the floor. It's like a cello. It's a cello that's a guitar. And that is where the bass in mariachi music comes from. I just learned that this week.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, let's wrap this up. What's everyone playing next week?
You guys go. I don't know.
I'm doing some VR demos, like what is it, GrimLord and Black Trail, and you know, more Tarkov, dude. I am level 13, almost 14, and the goal is to get higher than level 20 and not shoot any of my teammates, which I've been successful so far, except for today when one of my teammates decided to start shooting at me while sneaking up on me. So I turned around, domed him, and then he was like, that was me. And I was like, well, don't shoot at people unless you're expecting
Yeah,
to
if
be
it was
shot
his
at.
fault,
Like,
it's his fault. Yeah.
so we're not going to count that because fuck that guy. He's an idiot. And so...
Was it Trash from Florida?
No, it was somebody I don't think you've been playing. That does sound like a Trash from Florida move, right? Like he'd shoot at me, I'd turn around, headshot him, and then he'd go, savage. It's just disrespect. Like that would be Trash.
What are you streaming here?
For me, it's the bass guitar. No, I'm gonna be probably playing actually like Paper Magic. I got the 4 Warhammer Commander decks, and I want to play all of them. So I'll be playing with Leslie and some friends and stuff. So it'll be
Cool,
fun.
man. Nice. Bobby?
I am probably, that's very distracting, Sniper.
Yes, just zoom in on my face.
I'm probably going to be playing some Killing Floor 2. It is the Halloween season. They're doing their events. They do one for Halloween and Christmas. It's always great. So I will probably be jumping back into that.
Luna hardly lets me play anything but God of War. She loves watching. I don't know. So she calls it El Juego con el Niño, the game with the boy. And I guess she, I gave her the fake controller. She always thinks she's playing. You guys don't have video, but a lot of people don't have video. But when I say kill the monsters, because ¿Dónde están monstruos? She waves her hand like she's killing the monsters, like with brute force. She lets go of the control. She's holding the controller with her left hand, but her right hand swatting at the screen trying to kill the monsters. And she loves God of War. She thinks she's a little boy, and she gets it. Like she
Dude, she should be Atreus for Halloween.
Yeah,
Just
she understands that she's the sidekick in that game, and like she has a place in it, and it's great. So like anytime I'm playing Street Fighter, she goes, "No me gusta este. Yo quiero niño. Yo quiero niño and monstruos. I want kids. I want the little boy and the monsters. Bring me the little boy and the monsters." So a lot of God of War. Always Street Fighter. And yeah, I don't have anything else. More, if I can. Oh, definitely that Capes demo for sure. I can't wait to report to you guys because I can't wait to play. Whoa, that is so strange. Sniper's just doing fucking. Oh boy, he's
nailing
he's,
it.
he's taking Nick and he's photoshopping him live. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
looking
he's
pretty
live
good.
photoshopping Nick crying onto a
Post
sick
that on the Discord.
bass. He's-
You can
Yeah,
you can
post
get
it
to
on
our
the
Discord. You
Pretty
can get to our
great.
merch. You can get to our Patreon, all by dlgaming.net. Go there. All the links are there. We appreciate you. Bass titties. Boom, 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 boom.
On the radar includes Streets of Rogue 2, Dead Space Remake, The GrimLord, Mount of Blade 2 Bannerlord, Black Trail, Capes, Slay the Spire, the board game. Highlights include Homicidal All-Stars, illWill, Undecembered, Inkulinati, Bravery and Greed, Exterminate Zombies Get Paid, Bullets and Biters, and Overwatch 2 and Gundam Evolution.